Kia ora and good morning to a sun-drenched 9-0 bowling club in the glorious hut where Bowls Wellington is proud to host the Angus Hotel Champion of Champions weekends. My name is Daniel McCarty. I'll be providing commentary throughout this weekend and joined throughout by a cavalcade of stars from our local bowls community. They're the ones who are going to add the real quality. I'll introduce my first guest in just a moment. But to give you the backdrop, the road to 9-0 started across the individual clubs in the Bowls Wellington region. 25 clubs found their own winner and they've progressed to this prestigious event. To get through to the finals weekend, well, earlier at the Island Bay Bowling Club, we whittled those teams down and individuals. And now on our screens over the next 2 days, we will see the best of the best. First up and on screen right now, the men's triple semi-final. Upper Huts are playing Kindala. But joining me in co-commentary, as I mentioned, and huge thanks to Bowls Wellington for making sure we've got a great variety of individuals to join me throughout the 2 days. I'm delighted to welcome in a very, very familiar voice to those who follow the game closely in the region and across the country. His major involvement has been as an administrator of the game, having worked as a community development officer for Bowls New Zealand for a number of years, CEO of Bowls Wellington for over a decade. And for those who love the old wireless like myself, you would have heard the voice alongside me, Dave Hewitt, on News Talk ZB, especially providing great updates throughout the afternoon. And of course, on now, I can say that the former show of one Jason Pine on the All Sport Breakfast. Dave Hewitt, it is good to actually put a face to the name and the voice.
Thank you, Daniel, and thanks for having me here along today. I'm looking forward to doing it.
Right, action is underway on this glorious day, and look at that vista, absolutely splendid. Now it's in front of us now, we've got the men's triples semi-final.
And what a difference to when we first played the qualifying sections to get up to here, where it was at Island Bay and it was blowy and wet. So this is a very nice change for these players.
It's one of those days where everyone leaps out of bed, grabs their gear, runs to the car in anticipation.
Including all their wet weather gear that day.
So, Upper Huts up against Kindala, running through the two sides. Upper Huts skippered by Don Kilgour. Leading off Phil Yarrell and Mike Fitzgerald. They're up against Kindala. Their skipper Malcolm Hughes alongside John Saunders and Brent Slater. Wonderful day first up, the fans wandering in.
It's a narrow bowl going down there this time.
It's always was a filling out process, Dave, early in that.
Settling down process,
yep.
It certainly is, yes.
Finding your range.
And as the sun comes out and dries the green, it'll change in speed a little bit as well.
Markedly so?
Not too bad, I don't think. I think it was iron this morning. I saw the machine out when I got here, so shouldn't change too much, but it will change a little. This time of year, you always get a bit of dew around, a bit of damp.
We have a look. Wide geography, we might say, for the opening.
Very spread, but some good bowls in behind the head, not too much short stuff. And here comes the skip's last bowl.
Peering in on as it slides on in. That is a cracker.
That's the shot itself, I believe.
So we are underway. The first end. Played of the Angus Hotel Champion of Champions weekend. Discussion between two sides. Oh, friendly. Good to see the hats are out. The sunnies on too.
Yep. Here we come. The mat's coming up very short this time by the look of it. I know he's measuring it back from the front a couple of metres. So this has to come up 23 metres. And it doesn't look too badly thrown. It's coming just about to the 2 metre point, or it may go in the drain and go back. It did. So it goes back, and Upper Hutt now get the chance to decide the length of the end and re-deliver the kitty. And as you can see, Phil Yarrell's taking it back. So they're intending to play a much longer end.
Fair to say, not always a democracy when it comes to that decision.
No.
That's when the skipper skips.
Skipper normally tells you which length you're going to play by standing where he wants it.
Does it? Sometimes doesn't even need to utter a word.
No. But there's an art in kitty delivery, and it does control some of the game. And Don Kilgour's now going forward to centre that jack.
Yes, happy head long, steer, hands on hip.
And by the look of that board, it was 1 to Kandala on the first end, I think, from the distance.
Yes, so Kandala on the board first. And their lead, John Saunders.
Yep, delivers the first bowl, which is honing in very well on the jack here.
Great range, first up.
Very good bowl.
It's only taken him one end to get that rate up.
Phil Yarrell now delivering his first bowl.
Study of concentration. It's a little bit wide, going to slide past and towards the back.
Never mind a back bowl. Always can be used there.
That's what you can always tell the skip too. It's all part of my plan.
Absolutely.
Skip. So Saunders looking to repeat the dose. I think he likes to look at this one too.
Yep. 2 good starters. Interesting coloured bowls, black, yellow and red striped.
Very 2021.
Very much so. Very hard to watch if you're playing against them, I find. They don't seem to come up the green evenly. They look quite strange in my view.
Yarrow, too narrow on that.
Narrow and short.
So then, in the ascendancy by a couple, Kandala. They turn to Brent Slater.
Goes the opposite hand to his... Oh no, he's on the same hand as his lead. Here he comes.
Just needs to apply the brakes. It won't. Slide on through, so will remain a couple. So Mike Fitzgerald.
His first bowl of the second end. Looks a bit narrow. Across he goes.
Certainly had better efforts in a very long career. I think dating back to 1985. I think he won his first ever event and thought, this malarkey's easy.
I think I was probably playing at Upper Hutt with him in those days.
Can the pressure even greater thanks to... Oh, it just nudges his own out, but...
Looks like 3 or 4 up here.
Bit of a spread now. Certainly plenty...
Plenty of room to draw.
Let's see. And the walk. Need to embrace man as Stu Scott. He's not quite stalking the head just yet.
Not yet.
He's not happy as it slides.
Well under.
Well under and well away. Almost out of screen.
He might be going to pick this up because it might be outside the rink boundaries. Yes, he is.
Outside
That
the
one goes
14.
on the, that one goes on the bank.
A collector's item.
I'm sure there'll be a few more of them during the game.
So Kandala, after
Well placed in this head, yes.
yeah, looking to get a nice break on early. So we now turn to the skippers. Malcolm Holmes. Hughes, rather. My apologies. Once again showing my handwriting, Dave, is of the lowest quality. Talking to himself, barking orders at that bowl.
Here it comes, swinging under that front bowl. And he comes towards, breaking towards the head now.
Nice work.
I would think that might be another one on the count, just looking at this.
Certainly not down forward. If you're nervous, but there's
There's
well
still a bit of
spread,
space there.
lots of room for the skipper.
Don Kilgour's bowl on the way. That's the voice of Rob Ashton from the adjoining rink coming through.
Do you know these players even by voice?
Yes.
So that's like limited the damage.
Looks like it, yes.
Now the backhand, the Kandala skipper trying to ease it through that gap. Where will that bowl appear?
Here it comes.
Here it comes. The shadow shows.
Looks a little bit short.
Right in there, but just need a little bit more gas.
The last bowl of the head coming up from Don Kilgour.
A little bit of heat on this.
It's in the territory, but
can it slam on the brakes?
oh, I think he might have drawn that. Not sure. Having a close look here.
Always congenial chaps, these, aren't they?
Walk around, having a look, get down with a measure and sort it out. One down, one to Kandala.
So, Kandala 2-0 up. I think Upper Hutt will be quite happy with that. How it was.
That was a good outcome after the way the head started, yes.
Busy old day ahead. I'll give you a rundown of what's coming up. As you can see, lots of action on the side of the screens as we've got a kaleidoscope of colour across the greens. As all the action on this Champion of Champions weekend has started under perfect skies. Here on rink 7. We've got the men's triple semi-final between Upper Hutt and Kandala, which we are watching now, to be followed by the women's singles from, I think, 11:45, and then the men's fours semi-final taking us home. And again, plenty of action tomorrow. It's great to have your company.
And Phil Kandala put the kitty up this time, and he's got the mat up front, the kitty long, so he got away with it this time, and he's played a reasonably good starting bowl again.
Fraction short.
Skip Don Kilgour just changing Phil Yarrow's hand to stop knocking that first bowl of Kandala's in.
So Phil, and granted I've only seen him in 2 and a bit ends, but customary style. He doesn't. He's a minimalist, likes to stand on the mat and stare inquisitively. But he won't like the look of that side as it slides on through harmlessly so. Back to Saunders. Unique looking bowls. But he's...
It's a bit heavy, looks like he's going into the drain. Yep, on the bank she goes.
3 bowls. Only one that we need to worry about at this stage. He might just be a little bit
Arcing
heavy.
into the head, but looks a little bit heavy. And must have stayed at the back of the green because neither skip picked it out, so it must be there somewhere at the back.
Probably don't need to impart too much advice at the moment. Only one active on this head. Kandala up early, looking to build on the 2-0 advantage they have. Finishes narrow, and again, the range, not what Brent Slater would have wanted.
Comes Mike Fitzgerald's bowl. Be running through as well.
So who's going to find the draw bowl to take command of this end? Slater.
The number of bowls running through, I'd suggest the rink's playing pretty quickly already, so that's good.
That's much better.
It's a good bowl. And a toucher.
Just a little kiss on the cheek.
Yep.
A warm greeting.
Out comes the squeezer to put a mark on it to notify that it's a toucher, so if it goes in the drain now with a drive or anything, it stays live.
Still live. That's why Dave Hewitt's here. Fitzgerald, will see his slide.
Running through to join the other group of upper bowls at the back.
Right, talk me through the science of what the two skips will be thinking here.
Well, Don's
lots of traffic towards the back.
Yeah, very difficult to get it there with that bowl being a touch. If the kitty might not come across that way, it'd be interesting to see which way Don goes when it comes to his first bowl. He could play the backhand with a bit of weight on, or he could try and draw the forehand like the other two members of his team have so far. But first up is Kandala, so here we go.
The Kandala skip, Malcolm Hughes. Steadying himself just a fraction longer in that pose. And he's not happy from the moment that left his fingertips.
He was waving it in, wasn't he?
He was trying to marshal it to turn the indicator on and go left.
And they're now looking to see if that's inside the boundary of the rink. It obviously is, because it's staying there. And
here we go.
Kilgour's on the drive.
He is. Just clip the front bolt. Honestly, nudge that out of the way.
Stayed in the rink though, however. This could be a big break for the start of the game here. One bowl each to come, and Upper Hutt in a bit of trouble.
You can see in the backdrop, Upper Hutt skipper working on, because he knows that's going to be an important one. But to the Kandala skip we watch, the body language tells me he's much happier. Again, maybe just a little bit
Not sure
too
that he wants to
slippery.
make it a bigger target. And he hasn't. It's in line with the front one, so he hasn't made it a bigger target, so doesn't give Kilgour any more to hit than he had the first time.
You repeat the dose.
Nope, he's turned and drawing the other hand.
Coming on in and out the back. As both sides struggled with finding their range, understanding the pace, the nuance of the green early on, and the bright sunshine.
4 shots to Kandala, I think.
So was it 4?
I think so.
It's a huge end. And Kandala, well, Kandala like looking down on most of Wellington, don't they?
They do that.
From up on the hills. And they are looking down on Upper Hutt on the scoreboard here, because they're up by 6-0 through the third end. Really being treated, Dave, here by Miles Wellington. Getting coffee order requests already. This is magnificent. I don't know why I wrote down white flat. Hopefully they can understand that order. Oh look, you ask and you shall receive. So Kandala
Leading off.
in a bright position on a bright day at the 9-0 Bowling Club.
Playing this end towards the clubhouse. And here comes the first bowl. And it's another tidy start.
He's been
Clapped in by opposition skip Don Kilgour.
He's done a good job, John.
He's
Saunders at the top.
Phil Yarrell's turn. Long and narrow yet again, and into the drain by the look of that. Yes,
a bit of a worrying trend for Upper Hutt.
They're struggling to find it at the
I
moment,
think they're a little bit too energetic, a little bit too excitable. Saunders will again have his just past the jack. This one pushed too wide.
It's not too badly placed. It's a reasonable position.
Well, it's in the mix, isn't it?
Yep. It's counting at the moment.
To Yarrell.
Closer this time.
He's got the pace.
Still running across.
Obscured where it finally finished, but I don't think it was shot. There's now
Brent Slater on the mat.
Brent Slater. Line's narrow, and he had plenty of wheat bix. The triples over 18 ends, of course.
Yep.
No time limit. No.
No
Say
time
no,
limit.
no one really pontificates too long on the mat.
None of these guys.
None of these guys. They speed through their work.
Yep.
Trying to draw off the forehand. Trying to get the bowl from right to left, but pushed it too wide, did Mike Fitzgerald. He was originally listed as the lead, but Phil Yarrell's had that.
Yeah, definitely in the preliminary rounds at Island Bay, Mike was leading, so...
What goes into conjuring up that plan of the order? Is it someone's preference? Is it?
I'm not actually sure. You get a number of players that play in one position all the time, and
Yep.
others will play around.
So
Club teams pick themselves.
some are just far happier in that second spot, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just how they combine and get on together. Comes the Fitzgerald bowl.
Is this going to cushion off? No. I thought it was going to reach the eclectic looking bowl. That is John Saunders. So, still plenty of room for the skips to work their magic here.
Conversation between the twos and the skips on both cases as they change.
And it was Brent Slater nearest to us now. As Malcolm Hughes wanders back with a skip at his step because his team is up by 6.
Quite a number of supporters appearing around the green now.
Wonderful facility here.
It's marvellous, and a great asset for Wellington bowls and in particular for 9-9.
Of course, our eyes are going to be locked in on 7, but someone like me who hasn't been to this facility a lot, indoor facility, number of glorious looking greens. Really, well, the 9-0 Bowling Club will probably say it's the crown jewel.
Correct.
Nothing like a bit of
Aye.
home club bias. Excuse the pun. As we see that up skip on the backhand.
This used to be the Park Avenue Bowling Club. It was redeveloped and the two clubs combined. With 9-0 being the bigger club, they were over by Hutt Hospital. They used to have 3 greens over there, but no indoor facility. So this has been up for a few years now, and it's, as I said before, it's a great facility for the Bowls Wellington community.
Malcolm Hughes, the Kandala skipper, following the familiar theme of
Just under that bowl.
sliding under. So it's there for Kilgour. Let's see if the Upper Hutt skip get out his team on the board.
Watching it closely coming down. Here it comes. Looks like it might be a little bit big. Just slides by. And Upper Hutt opened their score with a 1.
And a slight weight lifted off their shoulder. I'm sure no one likes the donut.
Correct.
So they've trimmed that deficit to 5 through 4 of the 18 ends in the men's triples semi-final. And the other semi-final, Johnsonville up against Victoria.
Yes, just out on the couple of rinks across from this one we're watching.
And as soon as we've got final score of that one, we will channel that information through to you. Johnsonville has Rob Ashton,
Rob
Gillett,
Ashton, Wayne Coleman and Ross Gillett.
and James Fairhall, Ian McLeod and Liam Crowley representing Victoria. But our focus, 7, Kandala with a handy lead through 4 against Upper Hutt. Triple semi-finals. Can't take my eyes off this Saunders bowl due to the colour of it and the fact it looked good from the outset.
He's leading very well.
He is. Had a little touch, kiss of the kitty, so the chalk on that, as Dave mentioned earlier, that's deposited out the back. It will still be live. We see a good response, fine response.
Nicely tucked in behind, not far away.
Good draw bowls to start this. Maybe they are just adjusted to the pace. Being first up. He's leaning to his left as Saunders.
It's going to be underneath that bowl.
It has become noticeable to me, Dave, that the scattergun look we had early on is getting tighter and tighter,
yep,
and tighter with
so
each end.
Because you get used to the rink.
Fitzgerald now.
Down the backhand side. Will come into view in a minute. And another very tidy bowl.
You've picked that up on our effects, Mike. Some of the fans, lovely bowl. I appreciated that. Got makings of it. Good in this one. Plenty in and around. Slater, also on the backhand. Great
He's in
camera
the territory as well.
We get to see it slide in and continue this theme. Maybe they drop the magnets in. Being sucked towards the kitty.
Mike Fitzgerald.
A little bit more pace on this. Narrow line as a result, but
Doing a little run at it and then missing everything. Into the drain she goes.
what was the thinking there?
I think he was trying to get under that front bowl and attack those 2 shots and push the kitty out.
What will Kandala's response be?
I think they'll just continue what they're doing and draw another one.
Will it come back?
Yeah, it looks like he might be heading for the back to cover that running shot. Yep, probably the backest bowl. So
It just falls over, takes its position. Skips. Grabs some advice on the way. Kilgour does.
Yep.
Now Hughes.
John Kilgour on the mat.
Hughes will have the last bowl of this end, of course. Apart getting on the board in the previous. He too is going to be aggressive as having a run at it.
Shot. Well under. Crashes into the bank.
You might need to replace that.
That microphone's getting a bit of a hammering, isn't it?
Tamara grimacing in the background. Don't break her equipment. There is Hughes. No change of plan, and understandably so. Get on, he says. Move on. That's well short. Maybe deliberate, Dave, you would think, to protect against that, but he's got it the wrong side, isn't he?
Well, if he was trying to block it, he's possibly given Don a guide here.
Here
he comes.
He's got mustard on this one, but again, it's off target, so Kandala's going to
score another couple by the look of this.
At least. That's where your tactical nous really can make a massive difference. Well, his body language says everything. Castigating himself.
I think it was a 2 there. We'll see on the board in a second, but that's what it looked like to me.
So that lead is going to balloon out.
Just bringing that mat forward again to keep playing the shorter ends.
Add 2 more. There it is.
Yep. It's interesting to see the tactics, because the Kandala club actually play on an artificial carpet. They don't have a natural green. And that kitty wasn't up, so back it goes. Had to be 23 metres from that mat and it wasn't there, so back it goes, and Upper Hutt will now get a chance to set the length and to deliver the kitty again. Taking the mat back, but Don Kilgore is standing quite a way up the rink, so he still wants a short end, I think, but with the mat back. So here comes the jack.
And that really is just not only controlling the length of the end, but the real estate behind where the jack's going to be.
And it looks like they're checking to see if that's in the green. Signalled in, so it'll be centred. If it hadn't been in, it would have gone on the 2 metre mark, and Kandala would have had the chance to reset the mat. So here comes the first bowl.
Saunders. One of the few times we've seen him talk to himself after he's delivered, because he knows it's going to skew. Slide behind. Still on the mat. Still in play, no doubt. Phil Yarrell, Upper Hutt, who trail by 7.
Yes, they'll need to start getting a few shots shortly, or they'll be in deep trouble. This one looks to be short.
He's working on his technique as Yarrell, but we see Saunders. You know, that's when Saunders is happy with himself. The arms get crossed, get tucked high, and he just
take a little nudge to straighten him out.
He will. He'll be happy with that.
You placed it perfectly.
Just asking for an assist from his opponent's bowl, and he got it. That's much better.
Getting a clap here from Don.
Probably depth perception isn't the greatest, but be close.
Quite difficult to judge shots on the screen.
And so many more to be delivered before this is over this end. End number 5 of 18. Kandala up by 7.
Playing in 6, 8-1 after
N6.
5.
My apologies. Drawing in. Game from very wide angle, but the pace is beautiful.
Well played.
Bias doing what it should as far as upper hut are concerned.
Kandala's just having a look and calling it 1 down, so upper hut holding 1.
In the previous,
Here comes Brent Slater.
can he take the shot back, the backhand side? So it's just going to come under
Just short.
into the traffic front. So upper hut, thanks to Mike Fitzgerald, a slender advantage.
Coming down the forehand side again. Starting to swing now, and it comes.
And towards the kitty. Just
Pretty close to his first one. Getting a clap.
might be 2. See if we can pick up any suggestion from out in the middle. Well, the upper hut skip, much happier. Don Kilgowrie almost ran to the top. We'll let the deciding bowl, because it is now in the hand of Malcolm Hughes. Always like the idiosyncrasies every bowler has.
Different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-match,
It's the forehand over the top.
pre-bowl
Make sure it's
techniques that they do. How they position themselves on the mat, how they pick up their bowls.
the skip picked up the sport 8 years ago. Sees that one go through underneath the jack and sliding.
Pick up this sport at 80 and we were regarded as a junior for the first 5 years.
Had a good couple of years in his club, in the singles and triples. Of course, triples this year that has seen him progress to this weekend. The Angus Hotel Champion of Champions here at Nainai. Not at all jealous, Dave, that we're inside and everyone's basking in this
Quite happy to
glorious
be in here.
morning.
The son and I don't get on too
Oh,
well.
you're not
I
good
burn
friends.
very quickly.
Not great friends.
I enjoy playing my bowls in it, but I always suffer afterwards from sun. Doesn't matter how much sunblock I put on, I'm still burnt.
Nudge forward. Plenty of bowls clogging up the room in front of the jack. And a good bowl is the early call. Let's see. That indeed is the case. It's arrowing in. Great work.
Great
Look
bowl.
at that. And captain's knock. We'll see.
Could be 3 out
Be
already. I think.
3, be 2, at least 2.
I think I've taken those 3 out to the left. 3 it is.
3. We've agreed upon 3. So that's the momentum upper hut we're seeking. Down, I think it was 6-0 at one stage. They've pegged it back to 8-4 through 6 ends.
Yep.
So we're a third the way through this men's triples semi-final between upper hut and Kandala. It'll be Yarrell to set the scope of this end number 7. I do like a shorter.
Looks a bit shorter, yep. two ways to get a short end. Matt up and long kitty towards the bank, or as they have done here, Matt back and just past the 23 metre mark. Kilgour with his back to the head at the moment.
I'm not sure if that's a reflection on what he thinks of his teammates' bowl. Looked like John Wayne there, sort of wandering off cowboy style. Hey, Pilgrim, get it right. John Saunders
just continues to pile them in.
He really has been a standout. The lead of Kandala, dropping them in and around the dolly when you want.
Phil Yarra waving to this bowl. I think he thinks it's short.
Going to slide under. Is it? No. Line's good. Just
short.
Fraction short to get inside that Saunders bowl. And we'll have shot. He's probably barking to himself. Be up. Go on. Find some juice.
Saunders breaking into the head again. Very close to his first one, but short this time.
Now, Fitzgerald's wandering off to his left as he's playing the draw from the backhand side, but see that slide towards the back. So just one for Kandala at this stage.
Might be pretty close. He's doing a little fingers check here to see which is the shot. Thinks he's got one.
It's the only bowl I'm confident of calling is John Saunders's. Might annoy you when you're playing, Dave, but quite good for the commentary team. Again, backhand is the line, but just too far to the left. We'll see it remain out left and tracking past the kitty too.
Much easier to distinguish whose bowls whose nowadays. When I first started, they were all black. You went by the little symbols in the middle. There were no decals to identify the club or any particular colours. Everything was black.
And this one looks nice to me.
It's very
tracking
good,
in
yep.
Splendidly well.
There's a shot from Mike Fitzgerald.
So upper hard after picking up 3 in the previous end. Now we have a shot. It's Slater. Tracking in. Just fine margins, isn't it? I think 1 to upper hard as the skips now will be front and centre.
How you going, Rick? Good.
You remember the first time someone turned up with a coloured bowl?
No, I can't, to be quite frank.
Sure, there were shockwaves. So the 2 skips.
When they first came out, they're about $100 dearer a set than black ones. But now there's a real proliferation of colours.
Matching the upper hut team colours. The wood of the skipper is away, tracking in, backhand side. Thereabouts.
A couple of metres over, according to Mike Fitzgerald, puts his arm up level with about his shoulder, so 1.5 metres.
It's supposed to be easy.
Just a change of line after the space of backhand attempts. The skip of Kandala sees this come up.
Well
A little
short.
bit short, and no spin. You can't even say that. I'm just blocking there.
Don Kilgore on the backhand again.
Great line is the early call. Arch in the back is Fitzgerald, his teammate. He wants a little bit more. Be up, he's
Yep, happy with that.
calling, and that will just tuck him behind, so that will be
Couple of shots. Malcolm Hughes with the last bowl of the head.
hand to the head. Tells me he thinks it's not going to be the ticket.
Looks
He
like
might
he's
just
into the front one.
rub his own.
So here's the one of Yarrell's that he knocked out. I think it was Phil Yarrell's bowler got knocked up, so there might be another 3 to up out here. Taking 2 out, now they're looking at the 3rd.
So it's 2 or 3 to up hearts.
So the comeback is on.
There might just be 1 in it. No,
2
they
shots.
agree 2. So 7 ends completed. Oh, a whole new game in the last 15 minutes. It's Kandala. We've seen that big lead of 8-1 trimmed to just 2 as we head to the 8th of 18 ends. Phil
On
Yarrell
its way.
standing our latest end. He's happy with the range as far as pace, but just a little bit to the right. Not worry Saunders at all as he begins Kandala's effort in the 8th end. We've sung his praises throughout for sort of laying the good platform to work off. Again, he's
A little bit over, but a very good line.
Yarrell, no hesitation. Yarrell's having a battle with himself today,
Struggling a bit, I think.
flapping his arms around, just not happy with what he's done at the top for the upper hut side.
Saunders looking like he's in the territory yet again.
Well bowled, John, indeed.
Mike Fitzgerald's turn. Here he comes. Delivers now on the forehand.
It's Kandala holding 2. Going to finish under the head. Slide under the jack. Slide harmlessly away as far as taking pole position. Slater. Tall figure. Number 2 for Kandala. Yeah, he will make it 3 as far as 3 shots being held as
Bit across the head there, I think. Kilgore stands up before that gets here, and it's pretty short.
and wide.
Correct.
It was asking a lot, was Mike Fitzgerald.
Comes Brent Slater.
He stands,
So
arms
he's in good
crossed.
range depending on the weight.
Yeah,
Comes ducking it
the
underneath.
brakes.
Pretty handy looking bowl.
That is, so from our vantage point, could be at least 3 being held here by.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Fitzgerald bowl out to the side
True.
as compared to the back ones. It's hard
the
to
one
pick on
sort
the
of
screen.
at 2 o'clock on the dial as we look at it.
As we look at it, yep. About 10 o'clock from the mat end.
So Dave Hewitt providing expert analysis. I detect if you're a betting man, Dave, you're going to say 2.
Probably.
Yeah. So the upper skip on Kilgour. The forehand, drawing it in. Too much.
Still coming. I think it'd be a metre short by
away.
the signal from Mike Fitzgerald.
Bryn Slater just offering some advice to his skip. Releases. You just obscured right now as, well, there we go, a little
Oh,
touch.
now they're in trouble because that's 2 Kandala bowls back there. Could be 3 to Kandala now, I think.
It's
Mike
nice work.
Fitzgerald chalks the Kandala bowl.
Enthusiastically so. Like he's queuing the pull rack. So, here we go. This one has
Kilgour
got
on the run and wide.
I think he's taken out one of his own. Yeah, not threatening.
It's a long way short the bowl he hit, so they both went running through the head.
Just draw it again is the call. See if they can make this a huge end.
On its way down the forehand side. Cool is a
Tidy.
good bowl. Looks in the area, rest off that one.
Oh, just was touching his team's. Well,
I think they called that a full house, which to me is a 6. Interesting to see what happens on the scoreboard when the score goes up.
Slater, I did detect that. He was very enthusiastic hitting in that last bowl about the possibility of something very unique.
Yep, there she goes, 14-6, so that was a complete full house, all 6 counted. And Upperhart slid back to 8 behind yet again.
Wow, so all that good work over 20 minutes undone.
Yep,
That's where you go dig a hole and just try to hide, but so it's ballooned out, a full house. That would be a rarity, Dave.
and embarrassing for the team
Yeah.
that drops it, yes. You quite often hear comments if people get a full house that's talking point for a while.
Yeah.
Go back to the club and say, we got a full house today.
You don't have to shout at anyone.
No.
No.
In the
That's
very
good.
old days, if you got an 8 and 4s, you used to get a certificate from Bowls New Zealand if you notified them. But that's long since gone. Don Kilgour just saying he's not going well in this game. He gives himself an 80% chance of hitting normally, but he hasn't hit too much on the drive this morning.
Brilliant. Love the self-awareness. No hiding.
Can be a frustrating game too if you start missing it. The harder you try, the worse you can get.
So 14-6. No wonder Malcolm Hughes is just staring at that scoreboard. But once again, John Saunders is just all over.
If your lead's going like this, it makes the game a lot easier for the following players. And he's been pretty good right from the start.
Yarrow just hasn't been able to.
big
match. But that's an improvement in his opening bowl.
Malcolm Hughes tapping the ground. He wants this bowl put.
Will Brent Slater be able to deliver what his captain wants? Well, he wanted it to the left-hand side of the jack. To Fitzgerald. To arrest the control back for his sides.
It's running a little bit through.
Rear sight and all black bowl. Well wide. On the draw back. We've got too much juice on it.
Yep, big back bowl.
Will it stay in? Stay.
No, it's gone.
Hughes is talking to Brent Slater's. Well, but
Mike Fitzgerald
unable
with
to
his
convince
last
it.
bowl. Looks a bit wide to me.
Yeah, the radar just off. The range, pretty decent. Just little tapped the bowl of John Saunders, which just rolls over in bed and gets a little bit closer.
Yep.
So one, possibly two.
Kilgore would want to be drawing one close this end. He doesn't want to go any further behind than he is now.
After the full house for Kandala in the previous end, of course, Malcolm Holmes will be the first of the skippers. Fans peering in, talking tactics themselves. Finish. Just under, but a good bowl, no doubt about it. Camaraderie between the teams.
Yeah, I'm not
Well, I
sure.
can understand why Kandala's smiling.
Yeah. Not sure if there's a change to the score there. Nope, hasn't changed. Just the end hadn't been changed. They were talking about the scoreboard.
So we're on the 9th.
We're on the 9th, yep.
The 14-6 is the score after the completion of the 8th end, which we saw extraordinary side of Kandala picking up 6 shots in that end alone. Seen the balloon out to 8, biggest of the game. They've been front running throughout. Upper Hutt did well to peg it back to 8-6, but just like that, there's daylight between these two sides, and there'll be more for Kandala unless Captain Kilgour had something up his sleeve here.
Don's stamping his foot and Mike's waving it in, so I'm not sure it's in the right place. Nope, through it goes.
Too wide.
2 down.
Is that 2 more?
2 more to Kandala, 16-6.
So through 9, so we're at the halfway stage, up by 10. When does panic station set in?
They need to get on the board again with another good header, but otherwise they're going to be in trouble. Scoreboard pressure in this game is all important.
Well, simple maths, if you win 9 ends in a row of 1, it's still not going to be enough.
Correct.
plenty for the Upper Hutt side to do to threaten this big lead Kandala have fashioned for themselves.
Here we go. Coming up for his first bowl again, John Saunders.
Hard-brittled hat.
Folds his arms across his chest.
Characteristic
Watches
style.
the bowl come in.
Which generally means it's good.
Yep, and it looks pretty reasonable again. Could be picking up the jack here.
It's going to pick up the trails.
He might have put it in the drain with the first bowl. Can't quite tell, but we certainly can't see it on our screen.
There it is.
Oh no, there it is, right on the edge.
Oof. Walking a tightrope.
Correct.
Now.
This is where I said to you before, that bowl, if it's touched now, goes into the drain, it'll still count. Phil Yarrell's not too far away here.
It's a good response. Is it going to clip itself? You
He's got
betcha.
it into the
How's
drain
that?
it goes this time. That's a couple of cracker lead bowls.
And the fans gathered around, hugely appreciative too.
Little ball goes on to indicate where the jack is. Under that little golf ball will be the jack.
So for those who might have tuned in right now, might not be I'll get Dave to comment on that. It's such a unique part of the sport. It's out the back on the ditch, but still on. So that's no good.
Now I think it's a matter of Kandala trying to push their own shot bowl in if they're one down, because it can still count in the drain. I think the kiddie's so close to the bowl in the drain it'll be pretty hard to count anything on top. Phil Yarrell plays his second bowl.
So what will he be
I think
trying
he'll be
to
trying
do
to draw
here?
as close as he can to the drain, and I think he indicated there that he's not up.
Be up? He wants to be, but he's not going to be.
You get a pretty good idea as soon as you let him go what the result is going to be.
One down. We've got their bowl and the ditch here.
One
Well,
down, so the one in the drain's counting.
Well, that's one benefit of having it in the ditch. You get the skippers speaking right by our effects, Mike. You heard it loud and clear. And Slater, the backhand, has gone. Well, he's jumped an aeroplane. He's gone long.
And you heard the skip saying, I want you to put Johns in the ditch. Which is the one sitting up there with the first toucher.
Come underneath to push that bowl over. So rest on that bowl and stay there.
Oh, descent.
Okay, but you have to hit
Well, I thought the call that Don Kilgour was making there was risky, because if that bowl goes in the ditch, they could go one down where they're holding one at the moment.
Okay. Will you play your shot that you said that. Play what you're comfortable with, mate.
So Don Kilgour.
Mike Fitzgerald coming up to have a look at the head just to see how it lies.
Surely that's what you want from most skips, to
Oh, well, if you
throw
don't-
ideas out, but if you're
Sure,
not comfortable,
They can't see Mike can't see the jack from the far end, so he needs to know what the situation of the head is. So he's coming up to discuss it with his skip. Discussion over. They go back to the respective ends, and we'll see what he plays.
we've seen some beaut ends in this one.
Sorry.
See, a variety.
Yep.
Quite a variety. Some were all hunting the kitty, others where it looked like kitty didn't want anyone around. Seen a full house. We've hit the halfway stage of our opening game of the Angus Hotel Champion of Champions weekend. A
So we're
sparkling
playing the
day at
forehand
9:00.
as called by his skip.
Oh, grimacing, he's not sure
Here it
about
comes.
this.
Don't think it's here.
See the late swing in. Well short.
Come this way. You only have to roll. If you can turn him over or stop yourself, you'll be in. So it's delicate.
So Upper Hutt had the shot. Now it's Slater releases.
Looking to push this shot bowl into the second shot bowl into the drain. But been a bit short.
So Fitzgerald will need a long consultation with the skip for his previous bowl. I'm guessing it's just repeat the dose, but do it a little bit better. It's away.
Swinging from a long way out. Kilgour taking an interest. Here it comes. Not quite, I don't think. Good effort.
And so Kilgour just takes one last long look. Let's look at this from the Kandala perspective, Dave.
Yep,
What's the
so we're
simplest
just
way?
trying to sit that bowl into the drain or sit it close. One won't hurt Kandala too much in the situation.
To their target. It's a bright bowl to the bottom right, seeking about 5 o'clock. Nudge that in. Easier said than done. Granted, you never make a mistake from the commentary box, Dave.
Correct.
As far as playing bowls, that is, we'll make plenty of mistakes.
Here.
As far as talking is concerned. So here is Hughes.
Running a little bit at that bowl, and he's well narrow. Into the drain he goes.
Yeah, a bit of fire on that one. Here's Don Kilgour.
Be trying to draw right to the edge of the green.
You get a big sweeping break with the back.
Same again, harder.
Bit of traffic there. Stops its
Call for
progression.
go again harder.
Really thinking about this one is Hughes. He's, as you said, Dave. You know, sometimes you just know the moment it leaves the
Absolutely.
fingertips that is, well, nowhere to be seen.
And Don Kilgour throws that one away because he knows he can't get a second shot close enough.
Yeah, so
So just called out that's end over and threw the bowl down. There it
he's
is.
not being greedy. Happy to just, well, pick up the one. So 17 plays 7. 10 ends of this men's triples semi-final. Upper Huts up against Kandala. Kandala looking pretty good. Feeling good about their chances of progressing through to the final, where they will meet the winner of Johnsonville up against Victoria. The moment we have, I think it's is that the rink right next to us. Maybe I can get a glimpse of the score.
Kitty been rethrown as Upper Hut threw it out to start with.
So Phil Yarrell, the lead for Upper Hut. Hasn't been in great touch. He's made a couple of quite disparaging comments about his own performance. Good natured. Might have a bit of humour. And then again, just not setting a platform. When conversely so, we can hardly critique John Saunders' effort negatively. And this again looks to me
He's handy again, isn't he?
like he's right amongst it.
Marginally short this time, but another good bowl. Phil Yarrell watching his bowl intently with his arms folded. Here he comes underneath. And a good starter.
That's more like it. He can back off the mat, feeling much happier about himself. Saunders. Too wide. You heard him mutter it to himself. Seems to me if Saunders is on the money, he's just going to cross the arms and not say a word. So upper hut, down by 10, but up by 1 in this end.
Again, let Saunders off with that one. He's played a lot of good bowls today.
Indeed.
Mike Fitzgerald delivers his first bowl. Not on bad line if he avoids that front one. Round he comes.
Lovely work.
Good bowl.
That is a good bowl, so add
Shot
that
itself
to
by the
the
look of it, and 2 shots.
colour we call in that bowl. Orange.
Orange, yep.
Orange and black bowls.
Yep.
It's on screen. Both from the upper hut squad. Kandala's Brent Slater on the forehand. What will his first draw bring? Not be too narrow. Sliding well under the head and under the jack and possibly well,
Well over the weight. It's the other Kandala bowl at the back.
It's what you call non-threatening.
Yep,
For now.
for now. Mike Fitzgerald's not a mile away again. 2
No,
good bowls.
he's just doubled up. Just a fraction heavier, but might
At the moment, I think all those 3 will be counting.
well. Maybe have to have a look at that. All at 1 o'clock.
This one looks like it's going under yet again. Joining the other 2 at the back. Yep, there he goes.
Is he targeting that one?
I don't think so. I think he's targeting this jack.
So, shapings of a very, very good end here for upper hut, and one they
Desperately need.
I was searching for the right adjective, and I think you filled in that quite neatly. Dave Hewitt, alongside myself, Daniel McCarty, providing you commentary of the men's triples semi-final. Upper hut against Kandala. Later from rink 7. Our live coverage will continue. Women's singles final. We've got the men's falls later this afternoon. Dave in a vast array of Wellington identities going to be along. We'll not only describe the action, we'll find out what's going on in the game in this region and throughout New Zealand. Really excited to have the likes of Dave and others alongside, but let's focus in on what Upper Hut are hoping is going to be a Butte's end for them.
Don Kilgour played the opposite hand to what Mike Fitzgerald had played and ended up wide.
Well, Malcolm Hughes has just slapped the turf. He's,
Not happy.
well, that might be an understatement.
Well short.
He's laid up there.
I think Kilgour's going to cover the back here. I think I heard Mike Fitzgerald say to him, come around here, Don. Looks like the bowl might go for a swim in the drain here. In she goes.
In she goes. Couldn't avoid sliding into the bank, so
If he gets this jack, this could be a big turnaround here. 3 down to 3 up possibly if he can pick up this jack and trail it. It's on its way.
well, the body language is far more positive. Last
In the
time out,
territory.
it is. Let's see. Just going to slide
Just
under. So 3 would be my count.
I heard the call 2, I think, but it looked like 3 to me as well.
We'll
See what goes on the board.
Well, Mike Fitzgerald from Upper Hutt's race to the board to add at least 2 more to the Upper Hutt total. So after 10 of 18 ends,
Looks like that kitty might be outside the boundaries.
No.
it is
Out it
3,
is.
confirmed 3. So
3 shots, kitty out, so Kandala get the kitty to control the length again.
is that what you call a schoolboy error?
It's a thing that a good lead can do. My brother, who plays for another club, he always comments that leads should practice with a box of kitties or a bucket of kitties because it's a big part of the game. If you can control that length and deliver it properly all the time, it's excellent.
Little 1%ers, you might say, in that terribly
Little
overused
bits of
phrase.
help,
That,
yep.
that maybe not enough time is spent on that aspect, that discipline of the game.
Not sure that this one's up either. Could be going to the 2 metre mark here, and Phil Yarrow will get control of the mat again. I've centred it.
Well, that's just good community spirit showing.
2 paces, it's up. So they'll play to
Okay.
that one.
Wow. From the previous end heading towards us in the commentary position, we were playing it in the drain. It's polar opposite in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Shorter. And Yarrow's got one in the vicinity. Saunders to the forehand. Will his draw bowl deliver?
He looks to be just continuing on in the same way, doesn't he? Rolling them in just in behind this time, possibly one down, but another good bowl.
He's been right on line. The weight at times is
A bit wayward at times, but not very often. He's probably been the most consistent player in the game to date. It's Phil Yarrow's getting onto his game now as well.
the line spot on. This distance control with the shorter end, just the only thing off. Was this a rare, poor Saunders bowl? I'm just watching his body language. I think he's just so in tune with his game today.
Round the
he
back
knows.
he goes.
Round the back he does.
Malcolm Hughes comments to Don Kilgay, you might be...
Although he did follow up with, I'm not sure if Don will feel that way. Because there is plenty of room for Fitzgerald and others to work with. Just going to leave us
Just
short.
a bit short, yep.
Much better lines overall from the competitors. Slater joined that mix. He goes to the backhand.
He's long.
Kisses off his teammates. Oh, but it is Upper Hutt who have a slight advantage in this end, number 12 of 18 in the semi-finals of the men's triples. Fitzgerald and the skipper like this.
Just pull
Just
out
inch
again.
on. That's
Malcolm Hughes saying he's 4 down, so Upper Hutt will love to hang on to these. Brent Slater will be trying to make a difference, but he looks long.
it's a
It
4.
is.
4 down.
Chance for a hatful back here for Upper Hutt.
2 full houses
Be interesting.
in one semi-final. That would That would be unique,
It would be,
I can safely say, Dave.
particularly one each.
So the skipper on Kilgour can turn this into an end to remember. Down by 7, but up by 4, as far as we can tell. Not giving much away, poker face. And it,
Round it comes. Will it be in the count? Mike's waving it in. Yep, that's 5, I heard them say.
a little clap from Mike Fitzgerald.
Bit of pressure here on Malcolm Hughes.
Yeah. He's going the opposite
Kilgour
side.
wandering away, doesn't want to look.
Malcolm Hughes steering.
Oh, he's
And
played a
that
cracker.
Is a great response and one that was needed. They were down by 5.
Needed by Kandala, not by Upper Hutt. Kilgour trying to take that last shot out of the head. Need to get a rub off to get it. And goes between the shot and the kitty, so remains 1 down.
So Kandala,
One bowl to come from Kandala.
amazing. Down
Great
5.
recovery bowl.
And then up 1.
Yep,
Just like that.
just like that.
I guess that's the danger though. You do leave the
Good pressure
open
bowl.
terrain. You just want to repeat, and he may have done so. How's this, Dave?
It's 2
Talk about
crackers.
clutch bowling.
2 great bowls in the situation of being 5 down before you played. It's a real game turner. If
That
I had
is.
got 5 there, they'd have been right back in this.
Put a ring around end 12. As Kandala will
And Malcolm Hughes in particular on that end.
be up 19-10 when it could have been something along the lines of
17,
17-15 or 16. So 19-10,
Oh yeah, it is.
12 of the 18 have been played.
19, that's 9 points. And 6 in. Not the way it's playing.
I'm going to shake Dave Hewitt's hand, who's departing the scene. Thank you so much, Dave. Absolutely brilliant of you to join us. And wonderful insight. Are we getting you back at some stage? Wow, hopefully. So, Dave. It's a little bit tight in here, fair to say. Dave will take. Don't forget your coffee, Dave. That's the most important thing. Take your coffee. Good coffee. So Mike Carroll's going to join me in commentary position in just a moment. Get him to chuck his headphones on. Don't worry, it's not on. It's not on yet. Just recap. Definitely 2 in the previous end. So 19-10, I make it. Discretion advised, my maths involved. They can always send people awry, but the previous end, it looked like Upper Hutt were going to get themselves right back in the money with a huge end, shaping up 4, 5, possibly 6. But the skipper did a great job. And we pair now in on end number 13. Once again, Saunders
Right. Yeah, good try.
is doing a good job at the top. He's really found a good rhythm, although Yarrell, the longer this game has gone on, well, he stopped mocking his own performance and actually enjoying it. Mike Carroll alongside me. Great to see you. What a glorious sight this is.
Fantastic day, Daniel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, great day for bowls.
It is, it is. I was saying to Dave, it's the type of day where pull back the curtains and you just want to get to the car, just want to get to the car.
Absolutely. And then great to see the 2 teams from Upper Hutt and Kandala out here. Kandala just starting to pull away a little bit, so Upper Hutt will want to get a number on the board in this end.
Well, you know these parts well, Stokes Valley.
Yep, know the 9i club very well. We play a lot of bowls down here. Greens are in great condition for today. Couldn't ask for better weather for bowls, so no excuses.
I think we've been underway, just on an hour and a half. Tell me about the nuances of this place. Under bright sunshine, how quickly does it dry out? Would it have noticeably got quicker?
Yep,
already?
Absolutely. There was a bit of a dew on the green when we arrived here this morning, so it takes a good hour for that to sort of dry off, and the green's probably running a couple of seconds quicker than it did at the start of play. Traditionally, you get a bit of wind around here too, as you know, so that can always be a bit of a problem for the bowlers, but today there's no excuses, so really should be hitting the centre line a lot today.
We are in the final straight somewhat. 18 ends. These triple semi-finals. Big lead though for Kandala. Fitzgerald though, arrowing in one, just under. But
yeah,
in the mix, no doubt.
Just a handy bowl, yeah.
To sum up, to these bowlers, winning your club title is, something to brag about, but getting to the Champions of Champions weekend, it is a big deal.
Oh, it's huge, Daniel, and like we up at Stokes Valley, we put a lot of importance on our club events, and then to make it to the business end of the champs and with the opportunity of a centre title, that's what we all play for. So.
Yeah. Is there a little bit more sort of excitement this year? It's slightly new formats, of course, new ways of getting the information out, pictures for people to watch right around the region, the country, wherever they are.
Absolutely. I mean, fantastic idea from Bowls Wellington to run this day. We've got players out here, as you can see, that probably never been on the live streaming before. So, some of them will have their grandchildren at home or, their own children at home watching them. It gives them their day in the sun, doesn't it? So it's great.
Probably texting granddads, don't stoop over in front of the camera like that. So here we have Malcolm Hughes, who was magnificent in the previous end to stop that bleeding, but let's see if he can continue that theme. It's long, it was a very short end last time, but...
they're playing well, the Kandala guys.
They have. Of course, you've got a multifaceted cap, fair to say? Competitor / selector?
Well, yeah, a little bit of both, yeah. Probably getting towards the selecting more than the playing now.
What, by choice, by design, or the fact that young'uns are now superseding you?
Exactly right. Most players would tell me that's probably the right position for me. But yeah, hey, it's great that we've got the young guys playing in the game, and it's also great to see some of our older bowlers out here today still being very competitive. It's the great thing about our game.
As a selector, Wellington selector, for those who don't know, that's correct?
Correct.
Yep. At these events, and maybe this head come to an end, but just ponder that. How much stock and importance do you put on these type of events where you're looking for more consistency? As here's Hughes again. He's right on form in the last 10 to 15 minutes as the skip.
Another handy bowl. The Upper Hutt skip needs to look at changing this up here. They need to score this end.
What's the tactic?
He's going to run through the head here, I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to put some spice on it.
He's close too. He's got the jack. Just enough.
Nudging it
but
over towards the bowl. I think that's Yarrell's bowl.
Yeah.
So one
to Upper Hutt. Well, they needed to score then, Daniel, so they've done that.
In the previous runs, without being too disparaging, Kilgour hadn't really been within the vicinity, but he got it right on the money.
He was a bit unlucky. It looked like he had it straight in the nose to put under the numbers, so but he'd be happy that he could score then. But back to your question about the rep side, it's hard because we've only just come off the end of a rep season, so to put this in importance, it is very important in terms of probably next season. We like to have a real understanding of who's performing, and that's a big part of what we look at.
But you like these events that have natural pressure? and how people respond to that.
100%. We need to see players playing under pressure and ultimately getting results. They don't always need to get the results, but they need to be at the back end of these tournaments.
Indeed.
So
It's fine. We've got some gents standing in front of us who are it's okay. You're not impeding our view. That's fine. Thanks for the wonderful camera work. We've got screened off right here and slightly shorter end.
Doesn't tomorrow do a great job, and I have to say it's the single best thing that's happened in our game over the last 5 years, the live streaming of bowls. It started in Australia and then it's sort of all been taken on, and we're very lucky. Tamara's fantastic at her job, isn't she?
Well, she is half a metre away from you.
Giving her a plug.
Yeah, giving her a plug. Yeah. So
I feel like I see every second weekend these days.
So a little bit scattergun early from the leads in this end number 14. So Kandala are up by 8. They've been front running throughout. Upper Hutt looked like they were getting back into it from time to time, but Kandala, every time they've just needed to deliver, they've done so. Saunders at the top has been good, although probably not his finest hour in this end.
At least the Upper Hutt lead has got his bowls over the head this time. He was probably guilty a bit earlier of having them a little bit short. They don't come into play when they're up the green very often, so.
And that's more so for your lead. You want rule of thumb.
Yep. I mean, your bad bowls need to be past the jack. That's the golden rule.
Clap from the skip. He's happy with the effort of Fitzgerald, as he will have probably 2 at the time, this moment in time, to Upper Hutt, who know they're running out of runway.
They are, absolutely. When you're behind on the scoreboard, you've got to start thinking and scoring in sort of 1 or 2 ends at a time. Just start putting that little bit of pressure on. The game's not over until you get to that last bowl, but very quickly can be taken out of your hands.
Yeah, we saw a couple of ends ago, right before you sat down. I think Upper Hutt were up by 5, and 1 bowl later they're down by 1. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's too wide, and I think Fitzgerald's body language as he sort of turns his back on his own effort.
Yeah. 2 bowl triples too is quite a cruel game. You need it's very much a leads game. So guys that get on that jack early put the opposition under a lot of pressure. It's not like a game of 4s where you get a few more bowls that you can run into. All of a sudden, if you're under the pump here on the 2 bowl triple game.
Well, you release a poor one, you know, you've only got 1 to make up this end.
There's plenty of room here for the skips, isn't there? But
there is. You could land an aircraft in there.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling this game isn't over yet.
Yeah, the winner to progress to the final to take on Johnsonville, Victoria. With the nature of the 2 bowls, is it a form of the sport it's hard to make sort of predictions, prognostications, like sort of you can get, hey, they look like the form team getting knocked over?
Yeah, I mean, you do get used to seeing the same names around at the business end of these competitions.
That's what you get in most sports, don't you?
Correct. Yeah. But it's great to see these guys out here, guys that we'd see at club level regularly, but not really at the back end of these tournaments. So they've obviously been playing well to get here. So you wouldn't want to take them for granted. The Kandala guys have been good. So
led by Malcolm Hughes.
Great little club, Kandala, where they're situated, Daniel, in town there. I think they're very proactive of the business house bowls and all those things to promote their club, which is great.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the sporting world, isn't it?
Very much so.
It's so competitive out there. There's so many options. And sports like yours have to reshape, reform, and offer, varieties.
Yeah, and there's not too many sports, though, Daniel, where you can go play sport with granddad, your grandkids. There's not too many. If You know, we've got the power bowls too. If
Yep.
you've got disability, I think, you know, it's a fantastic thing we promote within our game. You know, kids with disabilities can play our game. It's not too many sports you can do that.
Yeah. And the times that I've soiled some greens around the region by playing so poorly, and this is no disrespect, it's simple to understand, and it's naturally fun. Although if I was playing on rink 7, I'm probably leading on rink 5, if you know what I mean. the science of it.
Yeah.
Give it grappling. So
Oh, that's 2 upper heart, so that brings them back.
an unconventional too.
A very unconventional
Certainly not the
too.
the dartboard sort of mat that you're probably seeking, selector, but
No.
the skip of upper hut will not care. So that draws it back to 19-13, end 14 in the book of 18, of course.
That's right. 6 down with 4 to go, so they're well in the game.
So we've talked about there's not a whole lot of time available in this, but you don't want to get too edgy either.
No, that's dead right. You just nice and relaxed, especially the guys off the front. If he can put him under, if Don can put Malcolm under a bit of pressure here, it's game on. It looks a little bit tight out of the hand, I have to say, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah, it's handy.
It is handy. See what Saunders can do in response. It seemed to me that I do like the shorter option. Well, Saunders is talking to himself, so this is not good. He's pretty stoic when it comes out sweetly, it seems. Yeah, that's good to nobody in many ways.
Sorry, I said Don before. It's Phil, sorry.
Yeah, Phil, all leading on the screen now. The distinctive orange
Certainly
bowls.
a better green, but once again, a bowl in a good area. It's good to see the crowd starting to turn up too, Daniel. The weather's brought them out.
Yeah, nice and early.
Yeah.
They got their sun cream today. One of those dangerous April days in Wellington.
Yeah,
Doesn't feel 25 degrees, but the sun's out.
we're blessed. This is a classic example in the 2-bowl triple game. And all of a sudden, the skip from Kandala, he'll be starting to think we need to get something close here.
Yeah.
This one looks like it's not too far away either. Yes,
It's nice work
Yes.
here from
2 good bowls. 2 for Kandala. We want to get something close here.
Slater. Pensive look as he watches.
He looks a little bit heavy, doesn't he? But wait and see.
Fraction too deep.
Just a touch, so still 2 to upper heart.
And that, what they need, multiple pickups, don't they? With just 15, this current ends, 16, 17 and 18 to go.
Yeah, it's important you break them down into small little jobs, not make it too big and too daunting. Obviously, they're going to have to score a multiple on a couple of ends, but just if they score one here, it's still keeping that scoreboard ticking over.
Well, we've already seen one full house already.
Yeah.
Close to another.
Yeah. He looks a tad quick again. So the Kandala skip's going to be under a little bit of pressure here.
Right, the angles though for them to coming on.
Yeah.
So the rep season, it's in the rear vision mirror. How do you
is.
sum it up?
So, yeah, for Wellington, men and women, we definitely had a tick. We both got to the semi-finals of the Inter-Centre. So you got to be reasonably happy. I was disappointed on the day to not get over the line, but we lost to a better team, and then they proved that in the final when they the Southland boys, they were outstanding against us. But there was nothing in it in our game, and the women are the same. I think they lost on an extra end or last end anyway. Yeah, well that's another shot there.
Yeah, the skipper's just
so there's a big bowl here from Malcolm.
got it to drop in, so that would be 3, which would be huge in the context of this match late on.
Yeah.
Malcolm Hughes talking.
He's definitely
Talking
tight,
to
but if he's
himself.
got weight, he's got a chance to sit something here, so it's just going to duck away. So if the upper hut skip can draw another shot here, it's very much game on.
Don Kilgour knows that. Eager to the mat he was. That's off.
Yeah, didn't come out the greatest, but
No.
it might be just what it needed, just to slow it down a bit. We'll wait and see.
We'll see it appear in just a second or two. Just a little bit. Needed to get up.
It's not up, but it's in a horrible position for Malcolm here.
So he's got to find a way to manoeuvre around that.
Under it or around it. I'd probably be under it, slightly heavy. Well, he's definitely out there, isn't he? But yeah,
It's got a little bit too much spice.
he's swinging his arm, and I think this is the 3 to upper heart.
And that will halve the deficit just like that.
So 3 behind with 3 to play. A little bit easier now, Daniel.
Well, it's music to Uphart's ears, considering where they were just 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, and there's a few up-out supporters out there, a few old faces that I've seen around the place. So
Well, you'd like to think so. It's not like they have to travel a long way.
you're dead right. Yeah.
Just rolled out. So it should, in just a second, when the scores are confirmed, read 19 plays 16, 15 ends gone, 18 overall. The winner to play, the winner of the second semi-final, Johnsonville and Victoria, which is currently underway. The moment we get a final on that one, we'll give you those details to follow. Yeah, from this 7-hour live streaming room, we've got the women's singles and men's fours still to come. What a sight, what a day.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better day.
No.
Well, there was a poor jack throw from the upper hut side, and I don't know if they needed that.
I've seen a few of those in this game.
I can't emphasise enough the importance to good jack throwing. You set the length, especially if the opposition have got a length that they're happy playing.
Well, Saunders just returned the favour, is he? Going to stay in?
It's in. It's right down on the 2 metre mark.
So Yarrell, with Upper Hut firmly back in this contest. No way, no two ways about that.
He's on a good track anyway. It's all on his weight here.
Well, Carroll likes the look of it. And understandably so.
Yeah, it's not a bad start. You'd be happy if you're the skip with that start.
Rare time when John Saunders might feel just a little bit under pressure. That lead whittled away and sort of marksmanship been a little bit off the last couple of ends.
He's got good green as well. It's all on his weight. He's handy, I think. You shouldn't be disappointed with that. So the green's probably running, Daniel, about 16 seconds. I'd expect that it might go up 1 or 2 in the afternoon as it gets a little bit warmer. And that can change a game in itself.
What's your happy number?
I think 16 is a perfect number.
Yeah.
You play all the shots in 16. These greens can sometimes get a little bit too quick, hence the heads aren't that great because it's not that easy. But yeah, I think 16's
Just the variety of shots it brings into the game.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can play with a little bit more confidence, and the bowls tend to hang around a bit more. You can get to the centre line a little bit easier, and you can get your weight. If the bowlers are getting back to the centre line, you'll find the bowlers get their weight a lot better. When they're fighting getting back to the centre line, they tend to fight their weight.
So that's your first port of call when you go to your home club. You just go straight ground screw. I want that.
Yeah, wow. We're very lucky. I mean, we've got the same greenkeeper that produces these greens too. So we've got very good greens at Stakes Valley.
You've got to say that, you know. Greenskeepers, you've got to keep them on side. They're important people.
Oh, without them, we don't have a game, do we? So,
well, just a game in long grass, I guess.
Which might be okay if you're going to play in England.
Yeah, exactly. So here's Slater.
He's a bit tight, but he's up, so he's a big chance to sit this orange. I think he's just under it, though. Yeah.
And that just illustrates what Mike's talking about, the variety of shots, far more narrow line in with a bit more pace compared to the upper team.
Well, Kandala have just lost. I think they're just fighting their game a bit. And
seen the finish line and starting to stumble on the way through.
This looks handy
very
enough
tidy. And the locals like it.
Yeah.
Hughes pondering how many they're down.
Yeah, well, they look like they're 3 down to me. He confirmed that too. He definitely looks like he's up. He's a chance to get on the jack. I think he's just going to...
He's going to get it.
Yeah, he's got it, but it's just gone over to the upper hut bowl. So he's only 1 down now, though.
Yep.
Bit unlucky.
He's applied a bandage.
Yeah. He certainly wasn't going to be short there, was he?
No. Right, so news filtering through from some of the other venues, or the other things rather.
So a club mate of mine, Mike Chapman, in the junior 1 to 5, he won his game this morning.
Yeah, 21-7 over Jerry Mackay from Hutt.
Yeah.
Silverstream's Hamish Ryan. And Huey Galbraith comfortably 21-11. So Ryan to play Chapman. Stokes Valley up against Silverstream.
Good local derby,
Oh,
that
indeed.
one. Very.
We're barracking on both sides.
Good club too, Silverstream.
And that's in the junior men. So that final confirmed. In the singles men, we've got a finalist confirmed.
Robbie Bird.
Robbie Bird.
He's a Wellington representative player, good player. Local guy too, he'll know these greens better than anyone.
He's used that one-track knowledge, winning 21-10 over Tarawa's Paul Hassel. But let's worry about that maybe after we see the culmination of this game.
Big end here.
Fitzgerald pleading for the ball to get up. Come on, come on.
Wasn't much in that, to be fair to him. Good track.
I love the advice and how easy they make it sound. Just roll it all the way out there and hit that bowl, please. That tiny little area.
Well, he's called a shot for his skip here that could win him a game here. He's got a toucher in the ditch and he's got 2 at the back. So if he gets this jack in the ditch, it's just about game over. Don't know if I like his weight too much. Yeah. Wasn't really the weight that his second was asking for.
Indeed. Maybe unconsciously just overruled him.
Possibly. Yeah, that happens.
Did you hear me? It all Fantastic, Mike Carroll alongside. Learning all the time.
If I was the upper hut skip, I'd be looking to beat these back 2 of the Kandala. Even if they can come in and count back behind the jack, just give them a bit of protection. only needs an extra couple of metres of weight on his first.
In number 16, Upper Hutt 16, 19 trailing Kandala by 3, but
He's on a good track again and just not so sure about his weight. Yeah.
one of the few times in your life you want a bit more weight.
Yeah. Well, it's changed the Kandala skip shot. He's had to change his hand here, which is not always easy.
Take his time as the wind is starting to pick up.
Yeah.
That will be more noticeable out there in the middle.
Well, he's up here. He's a chance. He looks a big chance. He's going to hit the Upper Hutt bowl up, is he? Yeah. Well, he didn't need to do that, so that's going to be 2 to Upper Hutt.
Yeah, the arms wave at the top, a little bit of frustration.
So won the difference now.
Incredible turnaround in the last 25 minutes. Kandala, I think I remember 17-7 up at one stage.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a dramatic finish of the final 2 ends of our first live streamed match, the Champions Weekend, and a huge thanks to all of those who are supporting Bowls Wellington fraternity and family. I do appreciate that ongoing support. And well, first up, the teams have delivered, haven't they, as far as providing wonderful entertainment. So we head to the penultimate end. Again, putting that selector's hat on, you'd probably learn a lot about your athletes in these type of scenarios.
Well,
Final couple.
It's funny how they all become your best friends too. And, you might get the odd free drink at the bar, Daniel.
Turning over the club, Mike opens the door and the red carpet's rolled out.
My fellow selector Rod Leach said to me he's never had so many friends this year.
Brilliant. So here is Saunders.
Yeah, an opportunity to really put the pressure on. He's just struggled the last couple of ends.
And Yarrell's found his range better. A few comedic moments from Yarrell with his own commentary about his own performance.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, but
he's taken a tight line too, but his weight might be slightly better.
He get a little nudge, he will.
Yeah, he will. Don't know if the Kandala skip was overly happy about that, but really you can't blame the opposition for that.
Yarrell's now telling everyone as he wanders off, that's exactly what I was intending to do.
You can only come off those bowls if someone's left them there for you to come off.
Indeed. Hammering home your point of you're helping no one in your own team, leaving them short.
Absolutely not.
So we could be heading to the last.
All square, potentially.
That would be fantastic. Fitzgerald.
He's on a good track here. He's certainly up. He looks like he's coming into the head nicely. Oh,
nice graze of the kitty. So
he's made it tougher for him too.
Apply the chalk. It's a Slater. Pressure now on Kandala. Pensive look down, sort of grimaces in the face.
Just really wants to get something close. He doesn't need the shot.
Does that fit the bill?
Probably want something a little bit handy, but it's getting somewhere close. If I was a skip, you just want to go into the last 10 with a chance. Just if you only need 1 to win, you don't really want to be getting 2s or 3 to win a game.
Ooh, Mumra, I think is the call from Fitzgerald. And the skip too, put his hands up.
Yeah.
Nudges off that Slater bowl and nestle right in behind.
Yeah. Brent just wants to get one better than his first. He don't look too far away. Might just drop a bit short.
So still one to upper heart.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get out of there too.
Yeah, Phil Yarrell's second bowl from the lead position.
The other thing too is the Kandala skip can't really afford to play over any weight because he hasn't got any bowls. They're all upper heart bowls down the back there. So any movement of the jack is definitely in favour of upper heart.
So it's the narrowest of corridors he's operating in.
Yeah, I think his headspace needs to be just about getting a good second, and if he can draw the shot, he draws the shot, it's a bonus. But be focused on being at the very worst being all square playing the last.
Yeah. So don't show too much hubris.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
don't take too many risks.
Yeah.
The game could be lost.
Yeah, one down's okay.
Correct.
For this.
Yeah.
With Don, on the other hand,
Well, yeah.
was he smelling a bit of blood?
Yeah, I think he's thinking, oh, just if I can draw another one in here and all of a sudden I'm taking a one-shot lead into the last, or who was predicting that about 5 ends ago, you know? And he looks like he has drawn a second shot. So
how's that?
It's a great bowl.
How is that? Big applause from behind the competitors at the end of the ring. So, upper heart steering, taking a lead into the last. Kandala, the heads must be spinning at the moment. Malcolm Hughes, the skipper.
So the upper heart guys will be thanking me after this because it's only ever since I hopped in the seat that they started getting back in this game. So we'll blame Dave Hewitt for that.
Upper Hutt thanking someone from Stokes Valley?
Yeah, well, we get on well.
Yeah. Until you don't.
Until we play, until we play
each other. So here we go. The skipper, can he make it even better scenario? Fitzgerald wants it to come around. He's probably left it just a fraction wide to threaten.
Malcolm's got to be very careful here.
It's out of the hands. Takes a few steps forwards.
He's quick. So there you go, upper heart going to be one up playing the last here.
Upper Hutt fans love it, don't they just? What a time to take the lead, I think, for the first time in this game. Upper Hutt, who were down 17-7, have come roaring back over the final third of this match and head into the last of 18 ends, leading by 20-19. Yeah, no messing around. Yarrow was like, let's get going.
Kandala need to start well here, Daniel. They need their lead to get right on it early. Try and just take a bit of pressure off their two and skip. I wouldn't rule out seeing an extra end in this game just yet.
So just remind the audience of the tiebreaker rules. Just if it's all locked up at 20 apiece.
So they toss the coin and they pick to see who takes them at, and it's all on for young and old again.
Well,
Phil's let him in here, so we'll see if
John Saunders can find that touch again of 20 minutes, half an hour ago.
He looks like he's on a good track. He just needs to hang around.
That's excellent stuff.
So that's exactly what his skip needed.
Yeah, rear smile amongst the Kandala team.
Yeah. So even if Phil was over, that's the most important thing. If he's gonna be anywhere, he's got to be over the head. It looks like he's gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, but captain. Right. Sentiments of Mike Carroll alongside in the commentary position. Happy with that one. Much better than the one staring at us at 2 o'clock. That's very narrow. Quick here from Saunders.
Mike just looking to get a nice second here.
It's the view obscured here from the skip.
Just heavy. His green was good.
Sliding on back towards his teammates. Oh. And Slater dropping a dime.
All their hard work looks like it's getting undone here.
Helping hand. See 2 shots at least to Kandala.
Yeah. Oh, didn't come out very well.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that is terribly unfortunate time to have one of those moments. Yeah, I saw it just wobbled very strangely off the green. Down. Slater drawing this one in. Well, he's done almost everything required of him in the second.
He couldn't do much more there.
Over to you, Skips. Decide the game.
Yeah.
See, the vest has come off from Malcolm Hughes. He's dressed for the occasion now.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Don play down the back end, down here, just under the orange, looking to arrive on those bowls. He's looking for second shot, but he's, like I say, he's no value in being short. So on the forehand, he can really only dare draw it, where on the backhand, he's got a chance to sit a bowl, maybe 2.
This is the moment every skip wants, though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Poor, the game's on the end of your fingers.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks. So, oh, he's on the drive.
Oh, he's on the sauce again, isn't he?
He's on the area.
He is.
Oh.
He's taken out one.
Yeah. The problem he's got now, though, is he's only left himself a draw shot because he's still 3 down on the head. And there's a lot of room. So I don't know if it was the right shot selection.
Yep, maybe an itchy trigger finger on that one.
Yeah.
Can Hughes apply more pressure?
If I was Malcolm, I would have been going right down the back, but he's not.
Behind the jack, but
He hasn't made the target any easier, Daniel. So he really should be only drawing here. Tom. No. So he's playing the shot now, which I thought he might have played with his first one, but
so it needs to be inch perfect.
he does now.
All on this, is it? Way it is.
He's wide, I think, isn't he? Oh no, here it comes. Here it comes. What's his weight like? Nah.
No, Fitzgerald turns, shakes the hand, and despite a valiant comeback from Upper Hutt, Kandala found a way to get over the line and into the final of the men's triples, edging Upper Hutt on the last. Went to the wire, out of the last bowls. Really compelling game. There were some great moments, there were some unorthodox moments throughout, but sort of living up to the nature of triples.
Yeah, a fantastic result for Kandala there. And they did exactly what they needed to. They put pressure on from the start with their lead. And it paid off for them in the end after, previous few ends been put under a lot of pressure. But Upper Hutt should be reasonably proud that they got themselves back in the game, got themselves a chance to win that.
Could have easily fallen over and ended up one of those very ugly looking score lines.
Correct.
Yeah. Kandala, though, probably aged a few years in the last hour, haven't they not?
Absolutely. But they're in the final now, they're into the main event, and I think, who are they playing? I think they've got Johnsonville. Is it Johnsonville? I'm not sure.
Yep, I'll just try and bring up the men's results here.
Yeah, they've got Johnsonville, so that'll be a tough old game for them. But the way they're playing, they're every chance.
So Kandala confirmed on the main scoreboard, picking up 3 on that final end-to. Well, lead when it matters most. They conceded the lead for the first time in this game, for the first time in about 15, 16 ends in the 17th, with Upper Hutt roaring back, getting their noses in front, but 3 in that final sees the score order at the end, 21-19. So well played to John Saunders, the lead. Second, Brent Slater, and the skipper, Malcolm Hughes. They can breathe easy because they are through to the final, where they will take on Johnsonville, who've progressed in much more comfortable fashion. Granted, I didn't see one single bowl of the game, but when I look at the scoreboard, they're Mike 22-10. So Rob Ashton, Ross Gillett, and Wayne Coleman from the Johnsonville club are through to the final. Care to make a wild guess? Or as a selector, you need to be neutral.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, the money's going to be on the Johnsonville team, Daniel, to be honest. There's a lot of experience there with Rob Ashton, Ross Gillett, and Wayne Coleman. They've been playing superb bowls all year, been hanging around a lot of the back end of good tournaments. So I'd expect them to be favourites for that game. But you never know. If the Kandala guys can start like they did in this game, put them under a bit of pressure, like I said, 2-bowl triples, it's all about putting the pressure on up front. So if they can do that, they're a chance.
Mike, thanks so much for bringing the knowledge. Hopefully we're getting you back at some stage.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we're
Brilliant
doing
stuff.
the Peers final.
Well, go out and enjoy, put your selector's cap on, enjoy the friendship and the rose petals being thrown at your feet and all the coffee's being purchased for you. Great stuff, do appreciate it. Mike Carroll joining me, and big thanks to Dave Hewitt prior to that. That's the first of our games in the book for today. We've still got plenty of action coming your way. The women's singles final from 11:45, and then the next game, the final game, the men's fours, from 2:30 this afternoon. So we are going to take a short break, but only about 35 minutes or so. Join us at 11:45. Check on or click on the link for the women's singles final. 11:45 at the quite blissful 9 Bowling Club here today. The first day of the Bowls Wellington Champion of Champions weekend. Our first match has seen Kandala progress, edging Upper Hutt by 21-19. They will play Johnsonville in the final of the men's triples. Look forward to you rejoining us in about 35 minutes' time.